Stand my ground with feet in lifeless soil, not thriving, yet surviving, resilient in this turmoil.
In spite of all I grow, for graceful life I aid, harboring like a planet, while scaring I'll pervade.
Living in this forest they call city, bound by boxes I am sure to outgrow, at my own pace I am driven, connected through my roots below.
Want to listen, yet cannot comprehend. Do I see you at a distance, or as a friend?
This feeling is what I wonder, ever changing as seasons. Can you be happy, I wonder? What's my honest reason?
Try to grasp what lies around me, forgotten how to see.
Can I help you, my intriguing tree?
Should I help or let you be?
Hello, I'm Klaas Kuitenbrouwer, researcher at het Nieuwe Instituut, the National Institute for Architecture, Design and Digital Culture in Rotterdam.
My name is Giesen and I'm a Buddhist nun since 17 years.
My name is Arjen Mulder and I studied biology, but I'm a writer, a socially engaged writer, and my engagement is with the trees.
My name is Kuba Gripalski. I'm a tree safety inspector and urban tree specialist.
I'm Ruud Veenhoven. I'm a sociologist by education and I teach psychology most of my academic career.
Can a tree be happy? Yeah, that's a tricky question. You have to kind of be aware of the semantics here. I mean, can a tree be happy and be aware of it being happy? I'm not sure. That's, I think, is a task of or a role of the neocortex in humans. But do trees have kind of affective relations that constitute well-being? I would definitely say yes.
Well, I don't think that we can speak about the happiness of trees. But of course we can speak of the flourishing of trees.
Of course a tree can be happy. Actually most trees are happy because they're happy to be alive.
Well, yes, a tree can be happy, but it depends on how you define happiness. So if you can have very strict measurements for what a happy tree looks like, then yes.
A few years ago, when we had the first hot summer, a lot of trees the leaves fell off, and I thought, oh, they're going to die, but they were not going to die. So to stay alive, they dropped their leaves. And then for us that looks, oh, they're not happy at all, oh, this is very difficult for the tree, and I have to save them. The tree is saving itself. I mean, it's communicating with the surrounding, is communicating with the situation. I mean, we can really learn something from trees, how they do that.
How would I assess if a tree is happy? So for a happy tree you need a lot of space for the tree to grow. So it needs all the nutrients, it needs the moisture, it needs the air. And if it has all these requirements, it can grow into a happy tree or a very big tree. And when a tree is big and eventually completes its life cycle, after hundreds or maybe 1,000 years, you can assess how happy this tree has been.
Well, if you're talking about the happiness of trees, then you use the term happiness in the broad sense of quality of life, well-being. But actually there are different qualities of life. And what I call happiness, life satisfaction, is only one of these. There's first of all the livability of your environment. Well, that applies to humans as well as to trees. There's also, well, your capability to use the opportunities of the environment. I call that lifeability. And, well, your health is part of that. And yes, some trees are better able to maintain in an environment than others. Then when we look at the outcomes of life, there is the utility of your life. Humans can think that we do nice things for the next generation, protect the climate, and that is part of our usefulness. But like other organisms, yeah, we are also part of the biological cycle. In the end, we are eaten by the worms. And that also applies to trees. In the right bottom quadrant, appreciation of life, I think that is typically human. Trees cannot have an idea of how much they like the life they live. They just live.
Ask them directly, or I ask them using a pendulum. And then you ask, are you happy? And it says yes. But sometimes it says no, but very seldom. Of course, you can, if you look at it from a biological point of view, you can see, well, this tree can't be happy because, for example, there's tarmac all around the tree. It can't hardly breathe, But still, even if you ask that kind of tree if they're happy, they will be saying yes. Or they don't want to answer.
To assess a tree's happiness, so with the nuances expressed, I would assess the crown, the root structure, all those things, but they're not happiness, they're just health. That's not entirely the same thing. I would go for something like the amount of mutually supportive relations with other beings. So with trees in the area, but also with birds and maybe small mammals, rodents, but also soil life and humans as well.
Yes, it is relevant to think about tree happiness, because once you start thinking of trees as neighbor, as a living being that lives next to us, you can wonder, how can I make the tree happy in some way? And let them know you love them. And then they will let you know they love you, and then happiness comes about.
We need trees, not just for beauty, but also for the sake of the climate. And, that requires that trees flourish.
Is it relevant to think about the topic of tree happiness? Well, the question is for whom? As part of the fabric of a city, it makes sense to think of trees as important, let's say, citizens or co-dwellers at least. They tend to live in places much longer than humans do. Humans move houses, but the trees, they can't. They sometimes live there for 60 or 100 years. From the human perspective, I think it is helpful to think of the happiness of trees also as part of this larger context of relation to a place. To relate to a tree is also to relate to a history, quite grounded and long-term way. So I think that makes sense.
I think it's very relevant to think about it and to observe what trees do and how they live their life and how they are connected with everything because they are a tree. I mean, we as human beings are also connected with everything, but we think that it's me and the rest. The tree has not this problem. So we can learn a lot of trees. What comes up when I think of trees, they bring out gratitude. They are just who they are, to find our function. And they are not thinking, oh, today I'm not so happy. No, they're just doing what they have to do. And how can we be of help in the universe, you could say, in the whole world? And when I find my function, I'm happy. So in a way, you could say, perhaps, the tree is happy because it's just doing what it needs to do.
Do I think if it's relevant to think about the topic of tree happiness? I think it's very, very relevant because happy trees make happy people, make a happy city. They're very relevant.